Hail to the... Ooh, I want to break protocol. We begin in the name of God, the compassionate and the merciful. All praises be unto you, O God, the Lord of the worlds, the compassionate and the merciful. Master of the day of judgment, it is you who we worship. It is from you that we get our help. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those who thou hast blessed, not those who have incurred your wrath or those who have been led astray. Hail to the commanders. Oh, my children looking at me crazy. Oh, do you see it? Oh, 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 yes, sir. It's that serious. It's that serious. As a matter of fact, I even got the flops on, baby. It's our time. Family, happy Sunday to you. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to the Ubuntu Fellowship Assembly NFL Special Edition Playoff. Come on now. For those of y'all who watched the football competition last night, you'll know that my Washington Commanders were victorious over the Detroit Lions, sending us to our first NFC Championship game since 1991. You hear me? And you know what? I couldn't help but seize the opportunity to make today's message about anyone can win. When I tell you I had a whole different message that I had prepared and had been looking at all week long, I had something completely different I was going to talk about today. But after last night, oh, I said, you know what, God, I gotta talk about something. And it's like immediately I got something different to talk about. Today I want to talk to you all about anyone can win. It does not matter what other people expect. It's not what other people's track history says. It's not what other people's record says. Anyone can win. And God gave me that thing early this morning. I said, you know what? That's the perfect thing to talk about. Because when I tell you, nobody expected the Washington Commanders to be in this spot today. You hear me? Anyone can win. Thank you, baby. Anyone can win. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what people's expectations are of you. Who cares? People going to talk about you regardless. Nobody expected the Washington Commanders to be where they are right now. Yet and still, here we are. So how can we apply this to our daily life? Guess what? It doesn't matter what people expect of you. Expectations only determine your direction if you allow it to. Who cares what people's expectations are? And I think that's something that I have fallen victim to, and a lot of us have fallen victim to. Looking at other people's expectations. And at the end of the day, their expectations is based off of what they think they know about you. Only you know you, and only you know what you have the potential to do. Listen, the Detroit Lions came up in there, I believe they was 15-2, if memory recalls correctly. We were the biggest underdogs going into this game. The biggest underdogs going into this game. And guess what? You come out victorious. So at the end of the day, anyone can win. If you put together a proper plan and you study and you look at things correctly and you execute your plan and you stick with your plan, even if they're doing what they're doing very well, you stick with your plan and eventually you'll get to where you want to be. Let's not mention the fact that it's been over 30 years since we've been in this position. And so that leads me to the other thing for all of my football fans that y'all know. Dan Snyder has been the owner of the Washington Commanders. Oh God, I can't remember how long it's been. It's been a few decades. And he has ran the team in the ground. And why am I bringing up the former ownership of the Washington Commanders? Because sometimes you might have to change your leadership. You might have to change who you're listening to. The first year, without having Dan Snyder as our owner, we're going to the NFC Championship? the first full year. And that makes a difference because guess what? You might be listening to the wrong people. You might have the wrong leadership. You might be looking at the wrong resource to get what you need to get to where you want to go. Sometimes you have to change your leadership if you want to get some productive results. So what happened last night, I'm grateful for it, but let's think about how we can apply this in our daily life. Anyone can win. We were the biggest underdogs this weekend. Do you hear me? Anyone can win. Anyone can win. We were the biggest underdogs this weekend, bigger than the Houston Texans, bigger than the Los Angeles Rams. So it doesn't matter, hear me, it doesn't matter what people think about you, beloved. It doesn't matter. Only you know what you can do. And guess what? Until you show something different, why would people believe in you? Why would people believe in your dreams? You're the only person that can see it. So you have to breathe life into it. You have to be the one in the gym, putting the work in film room, studying. Study to show thyself approved. This is a scripture in the Bible. You study to verify and affirm what's already inside of you. Man can never confirm what God has created. Man can never confirm what God has created. What's on the inside of you, only you know it's there. So you have to study and put the work in order to show that you are already approved by the Most High. I know who I am. I know what I can do. It's when preparation meets opportunity. And that's in real life. When preparation meets opportunity, you get a door open. Now, what are you going to do once you're in that door? We're on the road, both 2 weeks in a row. We're on the road in Tampa, and then we're on the road in Detroit. Okay? Nobody is expecting us to win. And guess what? There's a lot of people that don't expect you to win. There's a lot of people that don't expect you to make it. Or they're shocked that you've even made it this far. Stop thinking about what other folks are thinking about you. And execute your plan and stay consistent with it, and you will get results. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think. They're going to doubt you regardless. You can be minding your business, not bothering nobody, and folks still going to find a reason to hate on you. So you might as well put the work in and give them something to talk about. For real. You know, and teamwork, the whole principle of teamwork aligns itself with Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I am because we are. And so have you ever noticed that as a football fan, you say we, us? Even though I haven't put on a Washington Commanders uniform, I put on a bunch of other stuff. But I don't put on no Washington Commanders uniform and a helmet and go out there. But when they win, I say we. When they lose, I say us. Because the principle of Ubuntu is that we are all one. We're all one body. We're all one hive mind. We all want the same thing. Therefore, we are unified in consciousness towards a certain goal. And we speak as one. We win as one. We lose as one. When they're losing, I'm stressed out like I'm not playing on the field. And that's one of the beauty things about sports and entertainment is that it allows you to feel a part of something bigger. And this is the principle of Ubuntu, that underneath of it all, we are all one. We're all one big team, okay? And the Most High God is our coach. And look, sometimes it's not going to be your turn to play. Everybody can't be first string. So there are going to be some people that are going to shine in other ways, and then you have other people that are going to shine in other ways. Everybody must do their part. If one person does not do their part, guess what? You do not win. Because football, like a lot of sports in this country, is a team sport. Oneness is at the heart of any type of team sport. Because if we don't think as one, if we're not unified as one, we do not win. And I also want to use this to relay the point. I've said this before about Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I am because we are. I do not exist by myself. I depend on the collective, and the collective goes beyond human beings. It extends to all living things, all matter, all things. For all things are God, and we are a part of all. And because we are a part of the all dwells within us. So we think about ourselves in the collective consciousness, not an individual consciousness. So when we win, I want to see you win. I want to see you win, beloved, and anybody can win. When we think of ourselves as one, we want what's best for each other, and we cheer for each other. And when one of us is struggling and they're not having a winning season, we want to see them have a winning season. We want to see them excelling and getting achievements and getting promoted at their job and getting a new housewarming. When we really think of ourselves as one, just like on a football team, just as a football fan, I think of myself as one with everyone else. It's us. It's never me or my. It's us. We did it. We came this far. So this team concept, it runs right in line with Ubuntu, with the principles of oneness. Because at the end of the day, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, beloved, we are one. And the one is God. And we are God. And that is a statement of fact. It is a statement of fact. So we must operate like a team. Now, I'm decked out with my Washington Commander stuff on. But when you really start to understand the principles of oneness, you realize that it's reflected in every aspect of our life. And at no point in life does coming together not work. Does operating as one not work? In every aspect of our lives, there is never a time when oneness does not lead to productivity. Even oneness with yourself. I must be in harmony with all parts of me. The good parts of me, the bad parts of me, my health. I got to be in line with what my organs are doing. I got to be in line with what my thoughts are doing. I got to be in line with where my body is and what I need to be taking to maintain a certain level of balance in my body. I got to be one with myself before I can be one with anything else. At no point in time does oneness not work. So this is a universal truth. Anything that repeats itself in multiple areas over multiple periods of time is what we call universal truth. And it is the will of God for us to operate as one. Anyone can win. God has not set up the game of life so that you can't win. Anybody can win, beloved. The question is, are you willing to put in the necessary work, the necessary study, the necessary plan, and go out and execute it? And even if it doesn't work the first time, keep breathing life into it over time and wait for the results. Because you can't cheat the game. You cheat the game, you just cheat yourself. You must study to show yourself approved. You must study to show yourself approved, beloved. I know that you're gifted. You know that you're gifted. But you have nothing to show of what God has already approved for you to have as your gift. You haven't shown it. So until you put the work in and show yourself approved, nobody has any reason to be rooting for you. And at the end of the day, you're not worth having it if you're not willing to work through no cheerleaders. If you're not willing to win without anybody patting you on the back, then you don't want it. You don't want it hard enough. Because the real work comes in, and anybody who's played any type of professional sport, you got to take your own personal time that you ain't getting filmed for, time that you ain't getting no news anchor in your face for, and actually put in the work and sacrifice sleep and energy and pour your focus into a thing. Anyone can win. The problem is we keep trying to cheat the game. We keep trying to cheat the game. Anyone can win. But let's just be honest. You have to be disciplined. You have to be focused. You have to write your plan out. You have to execute it. And then you have to be willing to accept that when I execute it, I might be wrong. And then having the courage to come back and do it all over again. I get it. That's rough. That's tough. But guess what? That's the formula for success. That's the formula for winning. People who have won before have done the same process. So, how bad do you want it is the question. Because anybody can win. And if you're not winning, then you have to start with self. Well, what am I doing? Am I still holding on to things that I should have let go of? Or maybe I'm just too scared to take the risk. Let's talk about that. Because my Commanders, they go for fourth down more than any other team that I have seen. They'll go for it on fourth down more than any other team that I have seen, and they're doing it with a rookie quarterback. And guess what? Not all the time do they go for it on fourth down. Sometimes they do kick it. We kicked the punt last night. So not every situation is a situation to go for it on fourth down. But if you're scared to take the risk, then you don't really want it. You don't really want to win. Because guess what? Success requires risk. But you also have to exercise wisdom while you take risks. So another way of winning, another aspect of winning isn't just studying and preparation. It's also having the courage to take the risk. You may not like this job. They may not love you back. You may lose money on your investment. You cannot win until you are willing to lose. You cannot win unless you are willing to lose. And anybody that's been successful, and I try my best to surround myself with people that have done more or have more or are in the trajectory of where I'm trying to go, and really listen to how they handled their lost moments. Because I want to gain wisdom from the fact that I'm not going to necessarily have the right game plan when I first step out here. My game plan might be wrong. And then having to really do the inner work to find out what was done wrong. Maybe it was something that was outside of my control. And I just got to give it another try. Success requires risk. No successful coach in any sport got to the level of success that they're at without taking some risk. So be encouraged. Be encouraged if you've been going through some losing seasons. Be encouraged and know that anyone can win. The Most High God lives within you. Therefore, we are children of the Most High God. Failure is not even something that we even think about, because you've only failed when you give up. Until you give up, you have not failed. Loss does not have to equate to failure. No one who is successful got there without taking a loss or a few losses. But failure is relative. If I spent 3 years struggling to get my business off the ground, but spent 30 years maintaining and building a successful business that is now an inheritance to give to my children, did I really fail those 3 years? Or did I go through the necessary process through my learning in my losses to get my win? Anybody can win. I really want you to take this away from this. I know I'm decked out and everything, but I want you to hear the heart of what I'm saying with this. Anyone can win. Anyone can win. You just can't cheat the game. And truth be told, if you really search within yourself, you know what you're supposed to be doing. Or at least you know the first step. So take the first step and have the courage to take the next step. Because I get it. Each step is a risk. But you cannot have success without some losses. And just because you take some losses doesn't mean that you've failed. It just means that you are acquiring the knowledge necessary through trial and error to get to my championship. Beloved, I didn't want to do too long today. But if you've listened to this entire video, beloved, I hope that you got something from this. I'm excited, you hear me? I'm going to be celebrating all week long. I plan on being insufferable to everybody. You hear me? We are going to the NFC Championship, baby! Woo! Until the next time, God's peace be upon you always.